in terms of the battle of the three giants, if you like, for many years, each one of them was focused and concentrated in their own market. Baidu focused on the desktop, on the PCs, on the search, dominated that market. Alibaba obviously dominated e-commerce completely in China, and Tencent, from social network perspective. And for many years, there wasn't that kind of battle. This has all changed, and now you started to see a lot of overlap. O2O might be the label, but it's much wider than O2O. This is about winning the battle for customer centricity. If we look at the drivers, what's actually behind this, what's triggering this change? And there are three reasons. Number one, the internet companies are now the largest by far private companies in China, and they have lots of money, they have an opportunity now to shape things, and they already started to do this. Second reason is you have 500 million Chinese users of smartphones. Smartphone users and the ability to do m-commerce is massive, is huge. And the advantage you have with a smartphone compared to a browser on your desktop is that it's with you all the time, with you 24/7. So that's the ubiquitous world of multi-channel that is being created in China. And then thirdly is this shift in the economy towards consumptions, consumer-based economy. And some of the recent regulations, government created to encourage and promote private sectors. So all of these reasons are basically what explains the kind of acquisition frenzy that we're seeing in China today. Baidu, obviously, in control of the search, the natural progression for them is in map, having the maps as the cornerstone for their acquisition. From the maps, they're trying to get into mobile, moving to Zhuyao and to try to get a foothold in mobile app stores, to try to move from the PC, from the machine, to the mobile, moving to lifestyle reviews like Qunar, moving to e-commerce itself with Numi, and moving to funds, Huaxia. All these examples are basically intended to show an attempt by Baidu to come outside this focus, this restriction on search, into a much bigger picture, social and mobile. If you look at the picture from Alibaba, very strong foundation. Cornerstone is in combination of Taobao and Tmall and Alipay. And they're using this base to basically expand into much bigger picture. So Weibo, in terms of social, UC for the browsers on mobiles. Laiwang, an attempt to threaten WeChat, didn't make the dent that they were hoping for. And so on and so forth. Obviously, more recent examples with the taxis and the taxis war between Tencent and Alibaba. The biggest challenge for Alibaba now is what Tencent are able to do with WeChat. That's the threat. The other threat happening here is the market is no longer going to be completely dominated by Tmall. As more and more brands gaining confidence to launch their own offerings, that market share will start to reduce. What they've been doing recently, they've been focusing a lot on international, signing agreements with a number of governments, including the British government recently. And basically the message for any British exporter is, if you want to export to China, then do it through Tmall. But in addition, as you can see, very busy in snatching a number of businesses and increasing their equity, their investment in many others. This recent example is quite key with Yantai. A week ago, Alibaba have taken 10% share in Yantai. This is very significant. In 3 years, this could increase up to 25%. For me, there are two retail stories in China that are trying to make a big difference. Yantai and Suning. Both of them are basically taking on this challenge of multi-channel and making huge progress. Yantai is a concession-based department store, but is actually doing a lot more than the typical other department stores in China. And Alibaba can clearly see the progress and the advancement they're making. So this is going to give them a lot of knowledge and experience, basically, in the wider sense of retail rather than just e-commerce. Tencent, very interesting what they're doing with WeChat. Massively successful. The combination of social, location, mobile that WeChat enjoys, adding the feature of scanning QR code and bringing in that opened retail in a massive way for Tencent, and they are leveraging this position in a very nice way. Going head to head, I mean, when we talk about the bat, it's really more at than the bat. So Alibaba and Tencent are emerging more dominant, if you like, compared to, say, Baidu. If you look at a landscape picture overall and compare the three, you can basically see they're trying to penetrate each other. Some areas successful and some areas less so. And you can see there are some gaps. Baidu, obviously, from a social network. But lots of activities, and they're all trying to achieve the same thing. And what they're trying to achieve is to basically be with the customer, with the consumer, 24/7. And this is achieved by just giving them all sorts of reasons and mechanisms and make it really attractive for them to do so, as we will go through in a minute. So here's an example in terms of using a Chinese culture, Hongbao, and to have the red envelopes from WeChat. And the objective here, obviously, is to encourage you to link your account, your WeChat account, with your bank account. Once your bank account is linked to WeChat, you make transactions easier. So any impulsive buyers will find it much easier, obviously, if it's all connected. Then they can just basically make the purchases. So that's what they're trying to do. So what they've done is they introduced this concept of having you can basically set the red envelope to a group of friends, and they will get different amounts by random. So it's something interesting, something different, and the results, you have 8 million users sent and received 40 million red envelopes within 9 days of the Spring Festival this year. So massive success. Implications, obviously, as I mentioned, in terms of the impulsive buyers. Yuibao is an example of trying to tackle a bigger issue, bigger problem, and this is now about finance and funds and interest. Banking is kind of restricted in a number of ways here, obviously. This is something internet companies are trying to push the boundaries and basically see how far they can get away with. So having a joint venture with Tianhong, and again, the objective is to get more footprint from an Alipay perspective, and also to explore the internet financial business. So 2 objectives, for Alibaba. And the return is quite attractive, quite high compared to traditional options. And the result is you have millions of people being attracted, with the simplicity and the high return. Intime WeChat, what Intime have done is to make it easier and more exciting for customers to shop. Rather than you stand in long queues, you can basically go to the product you want to buy, scan the QR code, and then basically just pay on WeChat. So customer experience, and again, giving reasons for customers to not only to use WeChat, but to use WeChat from a retail perspective. In the UK, we introduced click and collect as early as 2006. You basically go to the browser, you order the product you want online, you go to the store and collect it. So Intime and WeChat have done this in reverse. So you go to the store, you scan the QR code. You can even go back home and then upload the product to your shopping basket, and when it's on promotion, like on Singles Day, then you buy it. Now, this might look easy on the outside. Trust me, it isn't. You have different payment systems between the department stores and the brand. The brand sometimes will not give you visibility on SKU, the stockable unit, i.e. you wouldn't actually have the actual unique identifier of the product. And there are lots of issues. So again, something that looks so simple, took a lot of effort. I talked to InTime when I found that they have the SKU visibility, and I asked them, how did you get this? Because our experience, all other department stores tried to do it and failed, and they basically said, this took CO to CO, and basically, very hard negotiation, and eventually we got it. So being brave and actually push the boundaries, like InTime doing, like Tencent, is clearly paying dividends. This is a feature hidden within WeChat. Tencent have signed number of merchants, so you can basically have a membership card. It's specific to a merchant, so one card to one merchant. They signed up restaurants and various other merchants, and the objective is you get the electronic card, if you like, and then you can basically, as you buy, you get more offers and you get discounts. The potential of this is if the link is broken between one card and merchant, i.e. one card can basically deal with multiple merchants, then effectively what Tencent have done is they have taken the shopping cart and pushed it to the back. In other words, you are now free as a customer to roam around and basically buy whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about a shopping cart per transactions. All of that is actually kept for you at the back. So obviously, they will need a lot of support, and if they achieve this, then this will be a massive coup against Alibaba. But what does it mean to basically be, O2O or multi-channel? In terms of the characteristics that you need to, in order to achieve it, is you need to have the insight, you need to have the intelligence, and the more applications you create and the more customers are using these applications, what you're doing is you're building intelligence on these customers, and you are building a good understanding of what they buy and what they don't buy, and what time of the day they buy, and what they buy with what. All of these things are critical in understanding customer insight, and that's what's happening today. So traditional retailers might not have been doing it in China, but the internet companies are, as I said, changing all of this. This opens the door to retail in a massive way. Connected 24/7 obviously means mobile. And hence you can see why Baidu is desperately trying to get into some sort of mobile presence, because they know desktop is basically dead. You don't have your browser all the time with you like your mobile, and that opens all sorts of possibilities. Moving away from product retailing to lifestyle is important. So hence you see snatching of Chinar and various other reviews and lifestyle, because this is what customers are looking for now. As I said, customers are increasing in terms of expectations and demands, and they don't just want to buy products. They want to read rich reviews. They want to have comparison. They want lifestyle retailing, not just product. And finally, personalization. So this is about customizing the offering. So not having one brush paints all, but having different offerings, per segment. So hence that brings us to the world of omni-channel. So omni in Latin means all, and basically it means all the channels appear as one. So, the market, is creating a circle. We started with one channel, moved to many channels, and now we're moving to the one channel again, the omni-channel, which basically means you might have different ways of transacting, but at the end of it, as far as the customer is concerned, customers don't care about channels. They care about, one brand. They care about consistency in the quality, and that's much harder to achieve. Winning this war basically means, massive market share, customers acquisition, customers retention, and of course, your branding visibility.